Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about the Pezken paddle lineup. I have here three paddles by Pezken. I'm going to start in numerical order. First, we have the 001, their hybrid shape. Next, we have the 002, their standard shape. Then we have the 003, their elongated shape. Here are the specs. The 1001 Moon White Hybrid Pezken has a length of 16.34, a width of 7.48, a static weight of 8.1 ounces, a 16 millimeter polypropylene honeycomb core. The surface is Japanese T700 carbon fiber. The handle length is 5.32 inches and the grip size is 4.25 inches. These are all three thermoformed and they all come in at $149.96 MSRP. After discount code DDOG_pickleball, they drop to about $135 to $140. The the 1002 Fiery Red Enhanced Sweet Spot, as Pezken calls it, paddle is a wide body paddle with a width of 8.03 inches and a length of 15.83 inches. The core is a 16 millimeter polypropylene honeycomb core. The surface is Japanese T700 carbon fiber. The handle length is 5.12 inches and the grip size is 4.25 inches. The 1003 Ocean Blue is the elongated paddle of Pezken's lineup with a length of 16.46 inches and a width of 7.36 inches. The weight is 8.25 ounces static weight. The core is 16 millimeter polypropylene honeycomb. The surface is Japanese T700 carbon fiber. The handle length is 5.5 inches and the grip size is 4.25 inches. Let me grab that real quick. The 001, the hybrid by Pezken. The shape I would most relate this to is the Pickleball Apes Pulse S shape. I think that this pretty much holding up side by side, and it's an identical shape in terms of the face length and just the overall shape of the paddle. Um, Again, 16 millimeter raw carbon fiber paddle. Personally, this one was not my favorite of the three. I had a lot of trouble just kind of dialing it in with it, but I was coming off of playing with a very high pop, high power paddle, and so sometimes it can be tough to go from one extreme to a more kind of middle ground. And so I would put this firmly in the control category. With that being said, I think that there's a lot of benefits to a control paddle, in particular a paddle like the 001 by Pezken. And it's a good handle, enough room for two-handed backhands. Other than that, I found I got decent spin, I got decent control, and that's really where it is for me with the 001. Moving on now, we're going to talk about the 002 by Pezgen. So the 002 is their standard shape. And this one I found once I added some lead to the 4 and 8 o'clock positions, just above the bottom corners, I found that this really opened this paddle up. As you can see, there's even some ball dust still from playtesting with it. But yeah, this really opened this paddle up for me. I did enjoy it. Again, I would call it a control paddle, 16 millimeter raw carbon fiber, standard shape paddle. So there's definitely control. With that being said, I found it was fairly spinny. I found that, I had good overall control of the ball, and I could do pretty much what I want with the ball, kind of in that Gen 1 to Gen 2 range of paddles. I believe, to my knowledge, I will confirm this later in the video, but I believe these are all thermoformed. And I personally felt they kind of leaned more Gen 1 rather than Gen 2 in terms of power. But, if you're looking for something simple that works, I think this is a great paddle for you right here in the 002. Maybe let's say you're coming from, I don't know, a Gen 3 and it was too much power for you or something like that. I think that this could be a good alternative if you're looking for, standard shape, just controllable, solid paddle. So, and then finally, we have the 003 by Pekzen. And this is their elongated shape. And of the three, this was my favorite because it's a controlled elongated shape, which I find there's not many of on today's market that kind of play as soft as this does compared to, the other elongated shapes that all have sweet spots the size of a dime or a penny, and they're all, all court leaning power paddles. So I actually really enjoyed this by Pekzen. Again, 16 millimeter raw carbon fiber. This is the only one of the three that I would say is control leaning all court. Again, it being an elongated shape, so that would lead to more power per se than the hybrid and the standard shapes, just based off of the amount you're able to get over the ball hitting kind of on a downward trajectory. With that being said, I did also enjoy that the shape just felt more friendly and opening than the other two. I felt like, which I have never usually felt going from the standard and the hybrid to the elongated in a series. I felt like my sweet spot was bigger and I felt like I could do a lot more with the ball. I added lead kind of in that same 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock position, as well as into the bottom corners, into the throat of the paddle a bit. And I overall found out about 5 to 6 inches of lead is what worked for me personally. I've been using the kind of just the strips, 3 gram strips. I just kind of cut them up and do kind of what I see best with them, just because they're the easiest to apply while at the courts. And if I need to make any changes there, all these paddles have a big enough handle for 2 hands, but this one especially, having the 5.5 handle. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. Again, I'm going to share more details in an upcoming video about this as well. This is more of just kind of an intro to the lineup. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this and be sure to stay in tune to learn more about the Pekzen series.